We're going to have a look at length, volume and weight. And we're going to look at changing units between them in metric. Okay, so if we start with length, the lengths we want to be looking at are things like millimetres, centimetres, metres and so on. Okay, so it's all ones in metric. And if we always start with the biggest one, so I'm going to start with kilometres, down to metres, down to centimetres, and then down to millimetres. They're the ones we're going to look at. Obviously, this can extend in both directions, but they're the ones we're interested in just now. If we want to go from kilometres to metres, so if we want to change from our kilometres into metres, there are 1,000 metres in a kilometre, so we would times by 1,000. If we want to go from metres to centimetres, there are 100 centimetres in a metre, so I would times by 100. If we want to go from centimetres to millimetres, there are 10 millimetres in a centimetre, so I would times by 10. If I go back the other way, opposite of timesing is dividing. So if I go from millimetres into centimetres, I want to divide it by 10. If I go from centimetres into metres, I want to divide by 100. And metres into kilometres, I want to divide by 1,000. Okay, basically the bigger the unit is, now units don't really have a size, but the bigger thing that it's talking about, the smaller you want the number to be. Okay, sometimes it feels a bit backwards. So we're going to change the following into the units shown in brackets. We'll start with 5 metres. So we're going from metres to centimetres. To go from metres to centimetres, going this way, so we're timesing by 100. So doing 5 times 100, which is 500 centimetres. B, we're going from centimetres to metres, so this time we are dividing by 100. 356 divided by 100 is 3.56 metres. Millimetres to centimetres, we're dividing by 10. So 48 divided by 10 would be 4.8 centimetres. D, we're going 76 centimetres to millimetres. To go from centimetres to millimetres, we times by 10. So it's 760 millimetres, and metres and kilometres now. 6,472 metres into kilometres. To go from metres to kilometres, I'm dividing by 1,000, which is 6.472 kilometres. Last one, 2.5 kilometres into metres. To go from kilometres to metres, we are timesing by 1,000, so 2,500 metres. Okay. So next question, I've got a plank of wood. It's 2 metres long. I need to cut 3 sections, each 576 millimetres long. How much of the plank of wood will be left? Okay. So I've got 3 sections, each at 576 millilitres. Millilitres? Millimetres even. I need to start by doing 576 times 3. You can of course use a calculator if you wish. I get 1,728 millimetres. I need these to match. It doesn't matter which way I convert. I can't have a sum where one value is in millimetres and the other value is in metres. If you can go straight from millimetres to metres, great. If not, use the conversion to centimetres in between. If you want to go straight from millimetres to centimetres, millimetres to metres even, we're going straight from here all the way to here. So we're dividing by 10, dividing by 100, which is the same as dividing by 1,000. It's in the name. Millimetre means a thousandth of a metre. Okay, so I'm going to take that 1,728 and divide it by 1,000 to get 1.728 metres. My plank of wood is 2 metres long, so I want to do 2, take away 1.728. Could of course change that into millimetres and make it 2,000 millimetres, makes no difference. Again, you can use a calculator for this. I'm just being lazy. Can't bother finding my calculator on here. So it'd be 0.272 metres left. We weren't told what to put our units into, we weren't told what our final answer was to be in, but it could also be 272 millimetres if you prefer. Okay. Volume then. Length's the hardest one because we use centimetres. We don't tend to use centilitres. They do more in some European countries, but here we don't. So length's the hard one because we need to be thinking, is it 10, 100 or 1,000? Whereas volume, it's always going to be thousands, and all we're looking at is millilitres and litres, and I've written that the wrong way. It should be millilitres first. Litres and millilitres. If I want to go from millilitres to litres, times by 1,000 is 1,000 millilitres in 1 litre. If I want to go back the way, I divide by 1,000. So I'm going to change these ones then. 530 millilitres into litres. If I want to go from millilitres to litres, I'm dividing by 1,000, which would be 0.53 litres. B, got 38, no, 3.8 litres into millilitres. So I'm timesing by 1,000, which is 3,800 millilitres. C, we've got 5¼ litres into millilitres. Quarter as a decimal. If you need to do it in your calculator, you're just doing 1 divided by 4, or you might just know 5¼ litres is the same as 5.25 litres. A quarter is the same as 0.25. I want to change that into millilitres, so I'm timesing it by 1,000, which is 5,250 millilitres. Question 2. Can of juice contains 330 millilitres. How many litres are in 120 cans of juice? So I'm going to do 330 times 120. I might need to give in and get my calculator here. What do you think? Now I'll do it without. So 330 times 120. If I do 330 times 100, and then 330 times 20, and add them together, I get 39,600. I'm going to have to get my calculator to check that now. That's in millilitres. So that would be for all 120 cans of juice. But I want it in litres. To go from millilitres to litres, I'm going to divide by 1,000. So 39600 divided by 1,000 would be 39.6 litres. Okay, let's try weight for the last one. The weights that we're interested in, again, there's more of them. We can go further up and further down, but we're going to look at tonnes, kilograms, and grams. And like volume, it's all very straightforward. It's all in terms of 1,000. There's 1,000 grams in a kilogram. There's 1,000 grams in a tonne. So if we're going this way, we're timesing by 1,000. If we go back the other way, we're doing the opposite. Opposite of timesing is dividing. That's terrible handwriting. I do apologise. Okay, let's see if we can change some of these then. So we're going to change grams to kilograms. To go from grams to kilograms, I divide by 1,000. 1.897 kilograms. Part B, 356 kilograms to tonnes. Kilograms to tonnes, I'm dividing by 1,000. So 356 divided by 1,000 be 0.356 tonnes. And the last one, 3.8 kilograms to grams. Kilograms to grams, I'm timesing by 1,000, which is 3,800 grams. Try the second one. At the supermarket, I buy 1 kilogram bag of rice, 500 gram bag of pasta, 120 grams of carrots, and 376 grams of butter. How much would my shopping weigh in kilograms? Okay, so let's take all my grams. I've got 500, 120, and 376. Let's add them together. So we get 996 grams. I change that into kilograms because I want my final answer in kilograms. Divide it by 1,000. 0.996 kilograms. I've also got a 1 kilogram bag of rice. I'll add that one. Just to be clear, you can use your calculator for as much as this you want. I just sometimes enjoy no calculator. Okay, I'll leave you to practice some of these then, and then we'll look at a wee mixture of these together.